let's walk and talk here. We're gonna keep the decibel down. We're gonna keep it about there. Um, so hopefully you guys can hear me okay. So anyway, just wanted to have a little bit of a conversation for the folks that might be new to the channel, subscribing, from Taco Bell or wherever, some of the folks, the nice folks over at Taco Bell that I eat at, um, are nice enough to watch the streams. I appreciate that. So just wanted to let you know there's just some stuff going on lately that I'm not necessarily going to always talk about, but yeah, just trying to take it like personally if I sometimes need to like when we're doing a stream and we have a little bit of an issue with some trolls, but more, it seemed like more than maybe normal or something like that. There's a little bit of an issue going on. I'd rather not just like continue talking about it. I'd rather just like put it to rest as much as possible, so I'm not gonna go ahead and initiate talking about it necessarily, but just so you know, like for sure there's an issue more than normal, with just trolls and trolling this channel and stuff like that. So just ask for your understanding, of course. Appreciate that, and appreciate the fact that you guys will watch already and stuff like that. Watch some of the stuff already. So there's times where I say certain things, and it sounds like a little bit weird. All I'm gonna say is like there's a reason for that. It's just to gauge certain things. So just be aware of that. Some of it might not necessarily even be true. If that makes sense. Like sometimes it's like you have to realize like with certain, I'm not gonna keep talking about it. I'm just gonna talk about it a little bit here and then just put it to rest. But with certain people, you have to understand that like the way it works is unless you do certain things a certain way, you don't know who you're dealing with. If that makes sense. People obviously aren't going to tell you who they are. You don't know who they are at any given time, So you kind of have to sort of figure it out for yourself sometimes, and sometimes like situations are a little bit more serious than others. So just realize like obviously coming in to the stream, new, you're not necessarily gonna know everything about everything that's happened. So that's why I'm gonna just try to put to rest and not talk about it. But like, yeah, just wanted to give you a heads up that this channel has lately been getting more, trolled than normal, and it's being dealt with. So we're gonna resume, doing what we normally do, and there's no worries there. But it's the sort of thing where like I just wanted to let you guys know. That's all. So yeah, with that being said, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate all the support from everybody so far. And I have a surprise for y'all. A promise to be fulfilled. Thank you for your over 900 subs that you've given me so far, and I will give you this thank you very soon. Um, Perhaps the stream. So we're not gonna necessarily do anything crazy. Like let's just say it'll be hotter than last time. It'll be hotter than last time. So anyway, you guys are wondering what we're playing lately. Okay, so I've been keeping up on the roguelikes because, to be perfectly honest with you, I love arcade-like games. I love arcade games. I actually almost played Pac-Man last night. I'm not gonna lie, I almost played Pac-Man. Then I just got sucked into Choo Choo Survivor. I got sucked into Vampire Survivors too. I love Vampire Survivors. That's my favorite one. But we're playing Deep Rock Galactic Survivor 2. Great game. That game is hard. There's no doubt about it. I have to level up in order to beat Danger 2. Yeah, like we pretty much completed all of like the Danger 1 completions and stuff like that. So like there might be like one or two odds and ends to do in the Danger 1 for most of the levels, but that's about it. I have yet 2 more of the little things, the currency, to unlock the other dive, I guess. Is that what it's called? For the next one. But yeah. That was really fun. And it always is. Like, that game, I forget who said it. Somebody said it in chat, but they were totally right. Like, the game reminded me of, like, the Zerg. And how cool the Zerg were and StarCraft and everything. StarCraft 2 was definitely a game I played a ton. I played the first one too a ton. But, like, StarCraft 2, man. Many, many years playing that with some friends. And then, let's see, what else did we, that's pretty much what we did last night, but, like, definitely I love, like, arcade games, and, so that's why I gravitate towards the roguelike, genre, I think I've noticed, to be honest, is because I like that, arcade feel to it. Yeah, I know I haven't really played many platformers lately, but that Fisk game was pretty good. Yeah, that was pretty good. And to be honest, I would highly recommend it to anybody that likes platformers. Like, I know that, like, some of the reviews said that it, like, had performance issues with it. Forged in Shadow Torch. Sorry, Forged in Shadow Torch. Some people said that it had performance. I didn't notice any. Did you guys know? I'm just being honest. I didn't notice any glaring performance issues on my end. But I could see, like, when it first came out, maybe. I'm not sure. It is really good. Like, it has really good graphics for a platformer. Like, surprisingly good for a platformer. So, like, there is that. But I mean, it was really good, and anybody that's like a fan of Mega Man / Castlevania style games, like, the Metroidvania, that's where they get that name from, by the way. You guys are like, what is that? So Metroid Prime, and Castlevania, these are the quintessential platformers, and I mean, you don't get much more platformer than that. Castlevania. I'm sorry, guys. Sorry. Get it together. Reconnecting. Stupid 5G. Terrible, terrible, stupid 5G. Are we back? Symphony of the Night, Castlevania. One of my favorite games on original PlayStation. One of. I mean, I played a ton of games on PlayStation, the original one. Ton of them, but that, man, I played a lot. Played that a lot. And then, like, I was really happy with Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. In my opinion, that was, like, you know, a perfect, like, nod to that game. If you liked that game, you should play Bloodstained if you haven't. Highly recommend. And besides, David Hayter is in it, literally doing his Solid Snake voice. So what's not to like? Even just to hear that. Yeah, like he's not Solid Snake, but he's definitely just using that voice in the game. It's awesome. I was totally fine with it. But yeah, you know, because I mean, like, that's the system it was on. That's the point, you know. So since, you know, like, it was a nod to Symphony of the Night, Castlevania Symphony of the Night, wasn't that a Konami game as well? You guys can correct me if I'm wrong. I think Symphony of the Night was a Konami game as well. Feel free to correct me, but I think it was. For, like, the second time. Anyway, like I said, I've been just trying to complete all of my achievements on Soulstone Survivors because, you know, like you guys know, I like grinding out achievements, getting achievements done, and stuff like that. Especially Steam achievements. Steam, just something about them. Yeah, I mean, like if there's something definitely to like about Steam, like they know what they're doing with that. And definitely have the cornerstone on that. I'll hand to Epic though. They're getting better with it. No, you gotta hand it to Epic a little bit for getting better with the with some of the stuff that we've talked about over the years. That's one of the things I wanted to say at some point, that I noticed that Epic made some improvements. Actually, like pretty much right after I've said various things on stream about some stuff going on, almost like they were willing to take the criticism, and there's something to be said about that. Like, that's a good thing. That's how it should be. Like, you know, the point is, I just want to be able to boot it up and have fun. It shouldn't be anything else other than that. You know what I mean? It's all about the fun. It's all about the pantyhose. You know, I miss when it was as simple as getting a Pentium 3. Remember when Pentium 3s were like the shit? Pentium 3. You were like, oh my gosh, a Pentium 3? And then Pentium 4s came out, they sucked. Yeah, Pentium 4s were terrible. And then Celerons were even worse. Remember Celerons? Blech. Celerons would always take a crap on people. Heat up. They were just terrible too. But Pentium 3s, man, these things were solid. I kept using my Pentium 3 like long after the 4s came out. And you guys remember the old days of 386, 486, back when we had the numbers. Yeah, it wasn't it because it was instead of literally even 1 gigahertz, we had it was 486 megahertz, right? Wasn't that it? 386, 486. And it just kept going up, and then eventually the Pentium 1 was, you know, like 1 gigahertz was the idea, right? And then 1, 2, and 3. And eventually it was like something like that. I forget exactly how the numbering system worked, but it was something like that. It's been a long time since I thought about Pentium 3s, to be honest with you. But like anymore, um, like eventually I started using AMD. Like, but yeah, way back. Oh yeah, man, loved Pentiums, and there's nothing wrong with Intel. I don't have anything against Intel. I just use AMDs. That's all. I mean, that's it's just what I prefer. So. I mean, there's nothing against Intel. Um, I do prefer like NVIDIA graphics. I mean, like, you gotta be. I think most people prefer NVIDIA graphics, but like, there's a definitive like difference, and I think it is just like. I'll be honest with you. It's not that one looks better than the other. It's just that your eye is trained to like one better than the other because one looks cleaner and has cleaner lines. It's not even like really. It's really what it comes down to. Like anti-aliasing and stuff. Like those technologies, like anti-aliasing and stuff like that. Those technologies for NVIDIA, like that's a huge part of it. I will admit, super sampling, right? Isn't that the technical name? I'm trying to think of the technical name. Well, there's multi-sampling, but not that. I think it's super sampling. The ATI one. That one. That one looks really good. No, I will admit that one. It's the problem though. It was like it's so CPU intensive. Okay. So that's part of the issue. The issue is that one versus the other with ATX and stuff like that, it is so CPU intensive using their graphics versus it's just more efficient. It's literally that simple. That's what it comes down to. Efficiency. If you benchmark the modern Intels with the modern AMD CPUs, the problem is that and obviously the companies don't want to admit this. The problem is that if you know what you're doing and you benchmark both, AMD wins hands down every time. Intel. This is what fools the people that essentially just like want to buy or don't know what they're talking about, yada yada. This is why. And this is why the nerds are like, no, AMD, only AMD, because they know what they're doing. Because they've benchmarked both, and they've tried it a million times. They've run the tests, they build the computers, they have the parts laying around. They know. And I mean, like, it's not you know what I mean? Like, I'm talking about comparable CPUs. I'm not saying, like, one that's obviously faster than the other. I'm talking about comparable ones. Because essentially with it just ends up getting hotter. It just ends up getting hotter and it clocks slightly lower. That's all. That's all there's to it. It's a fact. You know, a bunch of trolls are in your stream when somebody removes a like and everybody watching leaves. That's called a bunch of trolls. Yeah, dude, like, I've only been building computers, like, since I was, like, freaking 10 years old. Yeah, I've only been building computers and doing this stuff since I was like 10 years old. You know, what do I know? Yeah, yeah, it's not like I don't have like a ton of friends that do this, and I've met tons of people that do this and have compared this information, know about this, and I've been doing this shit since I was like 10 years old. Just like literally bored into it. Like literally everybody I knew was had computers, like LAN computers, put them together. Like I always just learned things and like just built my own computers. Like even like before I knew people and knew how to do it myself, I would assemble them with websites and stuff too. Before like I was confident on doing it on my own. Like it was the sort of thing where like I always did this. So what would I know? Yeah, you know you got a bunch of trolls in your stream when like that's the point. Like of course I would know. Oh man, you know that beast that I have? I mean, I built that. That didn't assemble itself. And I've been rebuilding it, you know, that's the point, you know. I just, well, I continue upgrading, that's all. So yeah, that beast of a PC I have, that it's called the beast because it's literally just enormous. That's the only reason. It's not like it's like super ultra fast anymore or anything. Like I'm not like claiming that. At one time, sure, but I mean like it's decent for what I need it for now. But like I call it the beast because it's enormous. I mean that case is just that case is awesome. But yeah, like it's not, you know. But yeah, anyway, um, you know, when you know what you're talking about and you've always done this stuff, and you know others around you agree about it, it's like you know you all come to agreement. You know, it's not like I came to this agreement just overnight. You know, just said this stuff. Kind of like other people. Like I understand other people do that, but um, I don't just sort of kind of like make decisions on companies like that unless like I know based you know based on like physically what I've seen, you know, things die out. Like all right, so um, a while back, I had a CPU completely melt itself to the socket. Um, itself to the socket. Went to pull the thing out. The chip was completely smooth on the bottom. All the pins were melted inside the socket. It just came right off. Yeah, it was completely. I still have it as a souvenir. I kept it. I thought it was so funny. My friend and I were laughing so hard. It was so funny. But yeah, like it was. That's the point. It was an Intel. It didn't shut off like it was supposed to, and that happened. Certain things like heatsink was fine, fan was fine. Yeah, like even if you have bad, you should still do that. It should be a noticeable difference, and that's all. Um, with AMD CPUs, but you know what I mean? Like an Xbox still does have those. You know, it doesn't use the NVIDIA graphics card, so like that's the point. Like while it does have that really powerful CPU, you know that's why people do I think gravitate towards the PlayStations because you know with those NVIDIA graphics in the PlayStation, you know it to people's eyes it looks better. But then a lot of times then if you have a really well optimized game, something designed for the Xbox, and then you finally play it on the Series X and you actually see it on a decent screen and you know what you're looking at, it's like, oh my gosh, well, all right, now this, I can see where the CPU is sort of taking over and helping here exactly as it's intended to. But the problem is that's few and far between. We don't have too many games that do that. But like a lot of them, that is the point. They like, I mean, like they're optimized for those NVIDIA graphics and stuff like that. And that's like, I do appreciate that. I think that's a good thing. But like, you know, like it that's why I think Xbox feels and Microsoft feels the pull to compete and try to like sort of kind of be a certain way about that. And, it kind of eludes the whole equation. It really does. Like it's a shame that things are the way they are, but like I would love to go back to a world where things aren't ported anymore. They're designed for PC first and ported to console as they should be, so that it's optimized properly. You know you got a bunch of trolls in your stream when people leave when I say that, because I got news for you. That's the way it used to be, and that's why we used to get such good games. Yep, that's why there was such a magic to the simplicity of the games we got. Yep. People aren't trying to like make a menu look really cool and spend tons of time making a menu look really cool instead of game content. Like why you're making the game and why it's fun. Talking about Starfield, in case you didn't pick up on that. Like, why is... Somebody please tell me why that game's fun. I want to know. I'm actually just genuinely asking. Like, at first I was really excited for a full space game. But then I started playing it. And after a while, it was just like, wow. I'm going to be honest with you, I played this a little bit, and I just don't really have that much fun playing it. And I genuinely want to ask, like, anybody out there, like, what is it, like, that you get out of enjoy, like when you play this? Like, not to be smart about it, just genuinely asking. Because here's what happens when I play the game, right? I'm not trying to be mean, like, or rude. This is just how I feel about the game, all right? So, like, I boot the game up. The game takes forever for the shaders to start. It syncs forever. It takes so long for the cloud sync, whatever. It just takes forever. I finally get the game to start. Okay. Now, I'm in some random spot wherever I saved the game. Okay, so I go to the menu and I have to figure out which buttons do what again. Look at the bottom of the screen. Oh, right, I gotta go to orbit, go back out. All right, now I gotta remember what system the main city is on. Oh, right, it's in Seoul, right? The Seoul system or whatever. So, all right, so at least that one's labeled, because some of them aren't labeled. You got to hover over them. So you just like endlessly hover over them to see what the name is. So all right, so maybe I want circles is the platform, the main landing platform, and not like any other part of the city. I forget because it's not really labeled very clearly. I think it's this one. And then maybe I go through like 2 or 3 of them before I get the right one. And then so like I go there just to confirm, all right, I'm good. I have my ship doesn't need repair, yada, yada, yada. All right, so now I'm gonna walk around the city and do what I gotta do, and that's fine. Like, walking around's okay, but like at the same time, like I feel like, all right, so now I'm in the main area. Now what? There's a bunch of people walking by that you sort of kind of really can't interact with very much. There's not really much to that. It's sort of boring with that. So you walk around, the scenery's nice, right? You can look around at stuff. That's really cool. But then like you sort of kind of like go to the shops and there's not really anything there. You talk to like the main shop person and you find endless things to buy that don't really do much of anything. The food system in the game, like when you eat stuff, doesn't do really anything. Right? I mean, like I really feel like anytime you need to heal, you just have to heal like, the normal way. And then like there's just endless items and stuff like that just don't really feel like they have huge purpose. And like this is what all the shops are for. And like you just walk around and like just endless shops like this where there's nothing to really do. People are just kind of sitting around, standing there, and not. I mean, maybe you'll find a quest here and there. Okay. So now like, all right. So now all right. I'm gonna go explore space. Fine. All right. Maybe I'll just have fun and turn it into a walking sim, right? Okay, so let's turn it into a walking sim. Let's go explore space. So I start exploring space. I go out into space, yada yada. I find some cool looking moon. Cool. Land on the moon. Oh, sweet. Purple, purple moon or whatever. Start looking around. Yeah, this is really cool. Start really enjoying myself. Wow, really cool. I'm a spaceman, and it looks real. But then, like, you start walking around, you're like, all right, yeah, this is kind of how it would be. All right, I get it. And then you find like a cave, and you're like, oh wow, it's a cave with some glowy mushrooms. That's cool. Yeah, glowy mushrooms are cool. That's really cool. So you walk around, and you're like, yeah, this is cool so far. I like this. Right? Yeah, this is actually really cool. But then, like, you find another cave, and it's the identical cave with the glowy mushrooms. And you're like, oh, okay. Well, that's cool, I guess. All right, so I just happened to find an identical cave. All right, so whatever, that's fine. Yada yada. I'll have fun. Go look around some more. Then I find, like maybe like a geological feature that looks kind of cool. All right, that's cool. I scan it, and I'm like, oh, I scanned it. All right, great. Okay. Oh, look, there's a cave. All right, so I find another cave. What I'm saying. I'm not like I find this cave, and then nope, it's not a glowy mushroom cave, but it's just a dark cave with nothing in it. It was like sort of small. And I was like, oh, cool. Dark cave, nothing in it. Wow, that's adventurous. Yippee. Okay. So when you go out of the cave and you're like, wow, this moon's kind of cool, but like at the same time, like wow, it's like found two identical caves, and now I found a third cave, but this third cave is just like some dark cave with nothing in it. And then the geological feature I found was cool to look at, I guess, but when I scanned it, nothing really happened. It just sort of kind of scanned it, and that was it. Big deal. So, all right, let's go find another planet. Let's go find a planet this time. Yay. We find a planet, all right? Oh, yeah, a planet. So we land on the planet. The planet's all lush, looks really cool. Yeah, there's all these cool things to look at. There's stuff to shoot. Yeah, we're having fun again. We're having fun again. Maybe we find some quests. Yay! All right, finally something to do. We get into the game a little bit. All right, so that part's fun. The combat's cool. Sometimes the dialogue's fun, and then we get powers. Right, we get the powers. The powers are really fun. Okay, so now the game kind of gets fun, right? Because we get our powers. Yada yada yada. Right, that's really fun. And then we complete the quests. And then, and you're kind of like, okay. So I guess I can just like randomly wander around and use my powers to like disrupt people and shoot at people in towns and stuff. That's kind of fun. I do that sometimes. I go into like the main town and just like start like shooting and stuff like this. So sometimes that can be fun. Like treat it like GTA or something like that. Like that can be cool at times. But like, all right. So now how long can you really do that? You know what I mean? Like, so like, all right, that's fun for a little while too. So yeah, all right. So you can sort of space GTA it a little bit, but like, then that only goes so far too. You get what I'm saying? So I don't know. The menu, like it's the sort of thing where like just if the menu wasn't so clunky, if thinking about going back to the game didn't feel like endlessly backing out of orbital menus and solar systems and things that aren't labeled, and like it's just the stuff's not easy to look at. It's not it was designed to look cool, and it sure does. Like, there's no doubt about that. But do I agree that it's, you know what I mean, like, functional? No, it's definitely not functional. Um, a lot of fun in the game is sort of discovered right away with the low gravity, and then just like being able to look around, but you can't traverse an entire plane. Like, essentially, you just get to a certain point, and it's like, well, you have to warp back to your ship or land in a different spot now. It doesn't let you. It's not like No Man's Sky where you can just go right all the way across the planet. It's not like that. Hey, Landon, what's up? It's not like that at all. Like, No Man's Sky, like, I want to like Starfield better, but I can't. No Man's Sky is just infinitely better. Like, No Man's Sky is like teetering close to a 10 for me now because like it's releasing all this new content and it's fixing a lot of the stuff that like I was complaining about before. You know how like I was complaining before about how they had this stupid thing where like it always looked like you were wearing a helmet and like there's lines across the top of the helmet and it kind of bothered me. Well, they actually kind of fixed it a little bit. It's not as bad as it was. It really isn't. I can tell they did something. They probably lightened the lines or something. It really isn't as bad as it was. And I can deal with that. It's like a halfway. Like, we'll meet you halfway sort of thing. I can deal with that. And, like, man, exploring that game is... That's the point. They keep adding patches and updating it to... So they updated the flora and fauna and, like, oh my gosh. Like, now the game, when you play the game, it's like, oh, man... It's a whole new experience. Like, if you play the game and traversed everything before, go back and play it now. It'll look different. That's the point. Even with as massive as it is now, all the things you can visit, all the places you can go, the endless things you can do. Now you do it all over, it'll look different again because they updated everything. It's so cool. And like, not necessarily every planet you go to is going to look different, but like a lot of it will. And that was something I was noticing. And that's cool. Yeah, there's definitely a more uniqueness to things than ever before, as if they needed that to begin with, right? Yeah, that's what's so cool about that. Like, I get that Starfield is supposed to be like our own, yeah, our own galaxy and stuff, and be accurate, whatever. But yeah, No Man's Sky. There's definitely a magic to that game. I want to play that other game. I actually forget what it's called now. Something about a campfire, right? We started playing that, and I was just really tired the one night. I am going to go back to that. I haven't forgotten about that. That's also from Hello Games 2, believe it or not. That little puzzle game we were playing. That little adorable sort of puzzle game. That was cool. Yeah, I actually really liked it. I'm not going to lie. I just flat out, I don't like looking... if anybody new to the channel, I don't like looking things up. I like to just sit there and figure it out. And I'm so tired the other night. I was like, yeah, when I'm this tired, there's something I'm not seeing. I'm probably just looking right at something incorrectly. You know what I mean? Just not seeing it. And just like, yeah, I'm gonna come back to this. I just got to a certain point. I was just so tired. But it was a really good game. Again, Hello Games, No Man's Sky, people who made No Man's Sky. Yeah, so I definitely like unique things. Not necessarily everything that's unique, but I like unique games with like unique concepts. So yeah, like that was pretty cool. Not there's not other things like it too, but it was still, its own thing. Do you guys remember a game? Is it raining? Yes, it is. Can you see it? Do you guys remember a game we played on the channel? We played a game called Unheard. I don't forget about that game. That is one of my favorite horror games. And you guys know how picky I am about horror games. You guys know how picky I am. Unheard is so good. It's a mostly auditory game. Like there is like obviously like some visual aspect to it, obviously, but like it's a mostly auditory game. It's about listening and solving mysteries and stuff like that. And it's a horror thing. Basically, something happens, and you have to figure out who everybody is in the scene, just based on like the conversations and stuff like that. It's a top-down thing, but like it's really dark and mysterious, and you're like this detective, and like the point is you have to figure out who everybody is in the scene just by listening to these testimonies and stuff like that. You have to get their names right, and you have to get, basically it'll ask you a few questions, and you have to answer those questions. And we played it on the stream. It was really fun. Man, I loved that game. Such a unique, really cool game. Easy 10 for me. Just for me. Easy 10. I love stuff like that. And like I could sit there and just like play that over and over and over. Because like I love Sherlock Holmes, and I love things like, I mean, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. I mean, just like in general. I mean, like what's not to like about that stuff? It's really cool stuff. Anyway, Unheard was, don't forget about that game. That's a really good one. Definitely check that out on Steam at some point. You can also watch it on this channel too. I think it may have been during some sort of horror stream we did. So like keep in mind, like it may not be labeled as like directly Unheard, but if you were to search, like if you're on a browser and search the channel, like type on my stream, if you search my channel for Unheard, it might actually come up. But yeah, either way, you can always just look it up. Really great game. I think, what was that game called that we played? Something with lizards. Like the Lizard Man game. You guys remember that? It was so much fun. It was funny. I want to go back to that at some point so that we can actually finish it. I want to go back to that at some point so we can actually finish it. What game am I playing lately that's absolutely really good, that I really I'm looking forward to finishing? Final Fantasy 16 for sure. It's actually like, the thing about me is like, I've done this with Lego sets in the past too. Like, if I like something, I sort of take my time with it. I don't want it to be over, if that makes sense. So, with that, I wanted to give it the attention it deserves. And like, there's so many times where like late at night we're jumping on the stream and I'm just tired already, and I just kind of want to just like sit back and like play something with controller, or I mean, not that we can't play the controller, but like just sit back and just like play something I don't have to pay attention to. With that, I want to give it the attention it deserves, and like pay attention to the story and stuff. So yeah, that's why. But yeah, that's definitely right now probably the favorite at the moment that we're playing. Anybody still? Yeah, I am actually still planning on continuing D3 as well, Diablo 3. Um, I know we haven't touched that for a bit, but I'm loving that chicken build. If you guys remember, we were having fun with the chicken build. Can you believe how much damage we were doing with that? That was insane. It was literally just mowing through rifts as a freaking chicken. It was so cool. I was loving that. And like obviously my we we all know my wizard is stupid OP, but like I don't know, this chicken build, man, once I get there, I don't know, it has potential to match it if not surpass. But yeah, my wizard build, I sort of do my own thing usually. My wizard build's definitely a custom build. One I did not follow or look anything up. And it works quite well. It works quite well. I just have so much grit, it's insane. Some of those numbers that show up. Well, we can jump into that sometime here soon. Talk about it. But yeah, remember guys, I still have that thank you. I owe you. And don't you worry, we're gonna do it. Oh man. For getting me over 900 subs, and I appreciate all of you. We're gonna be doing that. Thank you. And you know, the point is, I probably do that next stream. We're gonna do that. So probably, like, the point is, like, it's just gonna be a real quick thing. It's not gonna be nothing. It's not like some big thing. It's not, you know, nothing big. But like, you know, it's just gonna be a thank you. Cause I mean, like, what am I gonna do that's like huge? You know. Airplane. 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 Anyway, who doesn't love Diablo 3? I love Diablo 3, so I guess there's plenty of people that don't like it, but there's plenty of people that do too. I think D3 still sits, you know, comfortably as a fan favorite. I think it's I'm pretty confident in saying that. Like it's definitely a fan favorite. Otherwise, they wouldn't have wanted a 4. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's the point. And that's what I've always said. You know, is like, you know, like that's exactly what makes a good game. Is like immediately everybody's talking about it. You know, they're talking about, oh, I wonder what they're gonna do next. You know, like it's that good. You know, it resonates that much. And then when there's one that's crap, nobody's talking about it. They're like, no, I don't want to hear about it ever again. You ruined it. Yada yada yada. You know, like it's that simple. You know, so like that's the point. Even when 4 first came out, that's almost how people sounded. But I knew it was just going to take a little bit of time. They just needed to clean some things up, like flat out, and they owned up to that. Vessel of Hatred, I've heard, is a lot better. I can't speak personally, but I do believe There's a pretty reliable streamers that have been saying it's better, and I would trust what they say. They definitely play it regularly a lot, and they were so essentially where I'm making this based on they were saying initially that it wasn't that great. Don't waste your time. They might play it, but they're getting paid to. So it's like people that actually own up and say and admit to that. Were saying stuff like that, and then when Vessel of Hatred came out, they were like, yeah, okay, this is better now. So um, and it was sort of collective. It was a few. A few of those guys are pretty open about that. So yeah, just go look into that. I've been hearing it's getting decent reviews anyway. If you're even thinking about it. Also, if you have Game Pass, you can just play Diablo 4 now, by the way. Didn't know if you knew that or not. Wanted to remind you guys, if you have Game Pass, you can play Diablo 4. You have to have Ultimate, though. But yeah, D4. It's on Game Pass now. Just play it. Go play. If you want to try it. Why not? Wouldn't hurt you. May as well give it a shot. Yeah, no, I love the Diablo series. I have nothing bad to say about 4, really. It was just a personal thing. Like, I just didn't really want to play it because of my experience with the beta. I played enough of the beta, or I just knew I was not going to have fun playing the game. But it was just, again, it was balancing, that's all. And that was a personal preference. But again, I do think they've adjusted it. I'm gonna be honest. Just from the things I've seen, I think it's been adjusted. Woof, 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 woof. Ryan, you guys want some games? You guys want some games? Diablo. Kind of wanting to play some Diablo now. Yeah. Not gonna lie. We're talking about D3. Kind of want to play some D3 now. Oh man. Any D3 players in the house? I still need to play War Within. I still haven't played it. Yep. I was pre-ordered. I have the like, the huge box set for the Dragonflight, the giant huge one. I had to pre-order the huge freaking box and everything for Dragonflight. So I had it day one, but I haven't even played War Within yet. Sure, it's good though. I've heard some good things. I mean, I always like the new areas that they do. I think probably the only one I didn't was Draenor. Draenor is a waste of space. Stupid garrison. I want to be at that pitch meeting. we should introduce base building. That's a good idea. Yeah. Well, Warcraft 3 had it. I'm sure it went something like that. Oh man. Sometimes these guys don't know what the hell they're talking about. Like, you have to realize, like, if the moment you're pitching that, you're not a WoW player. Like, that's the point. Like, it's not Warcraft. Like, that's the point. Like, the point of WoW was that you were finally doing it. You were finally the hero. Like you were living that world. It's not base building. It's uh oh man. I just didn't get it. The moment you take away from that, you are not WoW anymore. Like this is why like anybody that's been playing the game since forever knows when they're full of it because it knows when they haven't, they're not getting it. Those who's not getting it, because that's the point. Like all they have to do is look to that. Like you introduce something to the game that has absolutely nothing to do with making the game more fun for essentially me being immersed as this person of Warcraft, this character in Warcraft, and not top down, not turn based, not base building, literally. Literally, you are the adventurer. You have to be immersed. That was why, like, it was so freaking cool when we got those cutscenes for Warlords of Draenor. You remember the cutscenes? They were so good. We were like, oh my gosh, this is gonna be freaking amazing. Warlords of Draenor is gonna be so good. Oh my god. And then it came out and it just sucked. And it was like, they just took a dump on an expansion. Like that could have been so freaking good. That could have. You remember wasn't it Garrosh they had in the jail? Like that was such a good scene, and like the story was so good, and then like you played the game and it was like, the fuck is this? This is the new WoW. This is the new WoW expansion. A raid that takes like a month to complete. An area that really doesn't have a purpose. When I do questing, there's all these weird mechanics that don't make any sense for questing, and then I have to build a freaking base. What is this expansion? Am I not playing WoW? I don't really understand what's happening here. And I'm like, it's just like, oh man, the raids. All right, so I didn't personally raid, but I can't speak much for the raids. I just know flat out like the game during that time when I was questing was so directionless and so pointless. So like I'm just like, what is this expand? Like, and then like Legion comes out and I'm just like, oh my god, zero comparison, zero. Legion comes out and I'm just like, yes, good, thank you, direction, a story that makes sense. Like, because that's the point. Like, it started off, it should have been good with Draenor. It should have been good, but it just was like, they really messed up the area. They did. They just messed up the zone. Anyway, with Legion, there were some things I didn't like, but like I could say that about almost any expansion in WoW. Yeah, I mean, like there's WoW has like a ton of systems and a ton of things it does. So like there's always things you can nitpick about. But like Legion was so good. Cataclysm was technically very good, except I hated the removal of the talent trees, and I didn't like losing Shimmering Flats. So I was really mad about those things and didn't play the game much during Cata. But I'll admit that, like story-wise, that was like you know, one of the best expansions, because you had Deathwing, of course. So, I mean, like, just definitely a really, really cool time for the game. But and I do remember like playing, questing, and then being fun getting the achievement for being killed by Deathwing, because every once in a while he'd fly around and, yep, instant death. If you were there and you saw him, you weren't getting out of there. So that was cool. What was this? What was the dude's name? Wasn't he a horseman? And it was during the Halloween festival that they used to do. Remember that? And they do it every year, and I'm like, you're just playing. And all of a sudden, this freaking dude, like they really spammed it the one year, didn't they? It was like just constant. If you were in Tirisfal Glades, he would just be like, remember that guy? Like he would like be announcing like how he was gonna like get you and stuff like that. Like he was like a headless horseman sort of thing, right? I forget exactly who he was. I just remember like they really spammed it the one year, and I was trying to do quests. It was so annoying. I stopped playing for a bit. But it was kind of funny later. I realized how funny that was later, so I got back on, but it was pretty annoying. Yeah. I wish I could remember the names of anything. Yeah, I remember Tirisfal Glades and Silver Pine Forest. That's where you went right after Brill, pretty much. Pretty much. You would go do all the quests in Brill and everything. And all that. If you're undead, that's pretty much where you'd go. You'd start in the undead starting area. And then head on over to Brill and all that. And then once you finish all the quests in that area, then you usually go down, unless you obviously switch, but like, if you stayed in the area, you just head down the path to Silver Pine Forest. Yep. And Utgard Keep isn't too far around the corner. Utgard. Remember Tarn Mill. I used to just sit there and do quests nonstop. That's all I did in that game. For so many years, just nothing but quests. That's how I played the game. I liked questing. I did a lot of the Horde starting area quests, obviously, which is why I started doing Alliance more lately on the stream. That's why I started playing the Alliance and stuff. Which is also why, like, if I get on my Horde, I just sort of kind of go where I need to go. I don't have to think about it. Unless it's something like Dragonflight, then you'll see me maybe think a little bit. Because I'll be honest, I did not finish the Dragonflight stuff, but not because I didn't like it. It's all the other stuff I'm playing, you know. That's how it's always been. I mean, WoW takes you gotta put a lot of time into it. You either play that, you either play just that, or you have other things that you play. Like, I mean, that's the kind of game that is. That is the kind of game that is. yeah, you have to just think a lot of time into that. If you want to do everything. I mean, there's also, like, if you know tricks and stuff, there's ways around leveling and stuff. But if you're just baseline, not necessarily. You won't have those things. Or necessarily know to do them or know how to do them. Yeah. D3, D4, all the way. Diablo. I mean, honestly, like, if you haven't played WoW and you're even thinking about playing WoW, and you think, like, all right, well, maybe that would be difficult, I would recommend playing, like, Diablo, like Diablo 3 or 4, because, you know, just the way you would set up rotations a lot of times can feel similar in Diablo. And it gives you a basic understanding of, you know, what it means to use a gear system, you know, things like that, you know, socketing, stuff like that. It'll give you a base understanding of that. If if you've just never played a game, you know, like an MMORPG or even an action RPG like Diablo. Diablo 3 was actually a very easy place to start, surprisingly. Now late game Diablo 3, like, it's not like the easiest thing in the world. I mean, that stuff does get hard. Like, obviously you want to do, like, the harder difficulties, on, you know, Torment higher difficulties and stuff, you know, and then, like, the higher Rift difficulties. Obviously that gets harder, but I'm just saying, like, initially learning to play the game is not necessarily a difficult thing. But yeah, once you start adding more stuff and getting more enemies and trying to figure out, you know, what abilities or for what gear sets and how to do what you want to do with it, you know, there's a lot going on there. And so yeah, you do something that, like, let's say that doesn't make any sense, and you start trying to turn out the difficulty, or, you know, playing with somebody that knows what they're doing, you all of a sudden realize maybe it's not as good as you thought, and you start dying and stuff like that. So you gotta change some stuff. That's happened to me already. You know, I've had to make some adjustments myself. You know, thought, like, this would work, and when it wouldn't, and how to, you know, adjust things and stuff like that. But, you know, that's later game. Like I said, early game, it's fairly easy to pick up, I think. Just D3 though, like the other ones, I feel like are a bit more difficult initially. D3 is just a pretty well balanced game, I think. Probably I call it here in a minute. Dwindling down. We haven't really gotten too many concurrents. Kind of feels like YouTube's got us on some sort of weird shadow ban again or something, to be honest with you. Kind of feels like getting not included in the swipes or something. Kind of weird, but oh well. I'm gonna head in. I'm just trying to think of maybe, like, something chill to do with you guys. I don't want to. It's late, you know. People are probably getting ready to go to sleep and stuff. Probably just, like, try to do something chill with you guys. So I'm not sure if we'll do D3 tonight, but like I said, I am going to jump on something, probably chill. Just gotta figure out what, like brainstorming a little bit here, cause we got a lot of stuff that we can get to yet. I don't know if I feel like starting anything new. We have a lot of unfinished stuff. I just have to see, to take a look. I like starting new stuff. It's just, like I said, we have a lot of unfinished stuff right now. So that's why, like right now, I just wasn't sure about starting something new. But there are a lot of things that, you know, I could easily just jump into that are chill. We don't necessarily need to, you know, start something up. I need batteries already. This thing's going already. I'm still just brainstorming. Actually, I'm trying to brainstorm here what chill game we could play here. Um, do you guys remember when? Do you guys remember when I jumped on Minecraft for a little bit and just made things blow up? That was pretty cool. Remember when we did that? We jumped on Minecraft and then just blew stuff up. So what I did was I did a stream where I jumped in Minecraft, and all I did was like stacked TNT. So the first time I hollowed out a mountain, and I stuck a whole bunch of, I filled it with TNT and blew that up, and then I stacked TNT on top of a tree until it reached the clouds, and it was a lot, and then I set it off, and that was quite interesting. It was pretty funny. That was fun. Trying to think, something chill. I'll figure it out, guys. I'll figure it out. Don't you worry, I'll figure it out. I like platformers, but there's just so many out there. So a lot of times for me, a platformer has to be unique. Or it can feel nostalgic too, but it has to be good at it. But yeah, that's why the Forged in Shadow Torch was good, because it was like pretty unique. Like, yeah, it was definitely like some other things, but in my opinion, it was unique at the same time. Pretty cool. So anyway, thanks for watching here. Appreciate it. And it's probably gonna just about do it. It's probably gonna just about do it. So yeah, like I said, figure out something chill here. I know people are probably winding down and going to sleep and stuff, so probably just figure out something chill to jump on. And I do appreciate you guys watching this getting caught up with stuff I was talking about, channel and everything. So thanks for supporting the channel too. Thanks for all the subs, all the likes, all the views. Appreciate you guys. Again, I'll see you guys soon. Thanks.